So when did you find out about the trade? Kind of what were your thoughts initially?
I found out, I think maybe an hour before everyone else found out. I was surprised because I didn't know that it was even a possibility of looking at the team landscape stuff. And from what I was hearing back, I didn't know I could be here. And then here we are. So, I believe in the providence of God. And I think that there are no accidents. And so I'm excited to be here and excited to get to work. And, yeah.
I mean, going up to that day, did you still think you had a chance to be the Chargers kicker, or did you kind of know that was going to be the
I had an honest conversation with Tom, the GM for the Chargers, and basically just asked him, did you see me in y'all's future, or did y'all see going with Cam? And he was honest with me, told me, which was awesome because he just let me know that for family planning purposes and stuff, it's just helpful to know that and be told something up front, which is nice. And so I knew after our last preseason game, we had that conversation that it wouldn't be there, but I knew they were shopping, so I didn't know where it could be.
Did you kick in the Chargers-Browns game last year?
No, I was hurt on that game, actually, funny enough. But I played here before, but it's been years before, yes, sir.
Dustin, you've been with several teams, so you're kind of an example of perseverance in your field. So
Sure.
Talk about that, kind of like what Cade's going through now.
Yeah, well, I've kicked with Cade in the summertime before. We've trained at the same place. We have, I don't know if he has another kicking coach, but we at least have one kicking coach that we have in common. And he's super talented kicker. I mean, his leg strength is tough to argue against. So he'll be fine. This whole game can be frustrating sometimes. At any position, but especially kicking, you get to the right spot and everything works out, and you get to a wrong spot and it doesn't. So I think he'll have a bright future. And I wish him well.
Wait, just a follow-up. But your perseverance to go from Buffalo to New Orleans and all,
Sure,
what was
sure.
that like for you?
Sure. Man, to be honest with you, I remember my rookie year, I had tore my groin. And I remember just praying. I was like, Lord, I'd love to be vested, And fast forward, this is my 11th year. It's just everything's a blessing. So I'm just and not that if I never played again, I've got a lot of things to be thankful for. But I stand here, X amount of years later, and just thankful to still be playing the game. So it's tough, but it's awesome to be a part of a team.
Is there any extra added pressure coming to a kicking situation like this?
I don't think so. I don't read too much into external things. Just because I don't think it's helpful. I try to control what I can control. And, besides the location, obviously this is a notorious place to kick. It's a tough place to do this job. But at this point in my career, I always tell myself, I try to be focused on the process and not the results. Obviously, we're in a results-oriented business. Like, I know the results eventually have to be there, but I tell myself I'm process-oriented and the results will come. So kicking in a place like this and knowing that I need to be at my best is kind of an exciting challenge, even though a tough one at the same time. So,
Dustin, you said it's a notorious place. As kickers, when you're talking about the various places, what
everyone knows about Cleveland.
What is it? What are those conversations like? Sure. What are you guys, specifically
talking about? Sure. Well, you got a handful of places in the league that are notorious, and Cleveland's one of them. I'd say Buffalo's up there, maybe a Chicago. And I'm sure there's some places I'm missing, but there's a handful of places that they're on the lake. You're up north. You're in a tough division. There's nothing blocking the wind coming off the lake. It's just sweeping in there. And so I'm excited actually just getting the opportunity to practice in there tomorrow. And even though I've played there before, the more you can get practice in a stadium and learn kind of, the ins and outs of what wind typically does in there, when it seems like it's going to move the ball and it doesn't, when it doesn't seem like it's going to move the ball and it does. So I've got a lot to learn in that stadium, but I'm up for the challenge.
Did you miss some practice time this year?
Sir?
Did you miss practice time in training camp?
I did. I had a minor rib injury, and it was one of those things they said, hey, if you can push forward, you're not going to make it worse, but it might hurt for 2 months. Or you can just chill out for a week or two, and it'll probably resolve itself.
It was just a week?
It was just that. And I just knew that whether it was in LA or now Cleveland, but somewhere else, that I'd rather be healthy for my team than have to be fighting an injury that I wouldn't have to for months.
Does that come from kind of what happened after that kick against Denver when you had the injury? Or
No, they were unrelated. They were unrelated. Yeah, it was just.
But I just mean a mindset of like, I want to be 100% before I kick again.
Oh yeah, maybe. I didn't purposely think about that, but shoot, subconsciously maybe. I just knew. I know it's a long season, and with it being preseason, I don't want to say the games don't matter because they do. There's a lot of guys that it means their whole future career. So I don't want to say the games don't matter, but for me, feeling pretty good that I would have a job somewhere, whether that was still in LA or somewhere else, that I wanted to be right for whatever team I was with.
How frustrating was that injury last year? And was it the quad or the hammy?
Hamstring.
Hamstring.
Yeah.
So how
It's like all these injuries, I'm not. It's usually not this bad. It was just last year I had a little rough patch, But you said how frustrating was it?
Not being able to be out there as much.
Oh, being hurt's. It's not fun because you feel like you're doing everything you can to get back healthy. And some weeks you see like a jump in improvement, and other weeks you're still doing the same right things and you don't feel any different. So it can be frustrating, but at the same time, it's just for me, it's a trusting in God's timing, and oftentimes it's not as fast as you'd like it to be. So it was frustrating.
How did you get a rib injury?
Kicking. Yeah.
Dustin,
Yeah.
in terms of getting ready for the Bengals on opening day,
Yes.
September 10th, since you've been around the bend a few times,
Sure.
Is it easier to adjust to a new snap hold sequence and kind of just get your mojo down fairly quickly?
Yeah, I mean, we had a good work day today, and it wasn't perfect, and we're all still learning each other, and it's one of those things, I tell them what I like, and they tell me what they like, and we try to find that perfect mesh of when everybody's comfortable. So I thought we got really good work today, and we're just going to get what we got. It's nice going into this long weekend, knowing that we can work this week, next week, and feel good going to the game. So it takes a little bit, but I feel good about the time we have to do it.
You talk about Cleveland being notorious for being difficult to kick
Sure.
in, and how you're real process oriented. So just over these next 2 weeks leading into the season, I guess maybe what's your process of trying to figure out how to be successful, kicking?
Yeah. Once again, I try not to think about too much external things, So I really just focus on, am I hitting a pure ball? Do we have a good rhythm, like I just mentioned, with our operation? And if those things are happening, I can figure it out on game day as far as like what the wind is doing. It's just you want to make sure that the rhythm is good and I'm hitting pure, and that's kind of my only goal. And yeah, that's it. So it'll take some getting used to, but I feel good about it.
As a kicker and being a veteran like you are and coming into new situations, how much of your previous experience gives you even more confidence, or does it at all, or going from one team to another?
I am glad that I'm at this point in my career coming here as opposed to maybe going Buffalo then here. That's a tough run, So, so yeah, I'd rather do it now with this timing, having some experience, and shoot, I wouldn't say it's at the same level as Cleveland, but Washington's not an easy place to play in at times, and so got a lot of experience there for a good window of time. So yeah, it's nice. Any reps you can get under your belt as a kicker, as a player in any position, I think is useful, and you learn from a number of things you do. And yeah, so I'm excited that it's that the timing is good. Yeah.
Since you know Cade, have you had some words with him over the last couple of days of encouragement for him?
I have not yet. Yeah, we've trained together last summer for 2 days. So I know him, and we're friendly, but it's not like we talk all the time. But yes.
With the grass at Brown Stadium.
Yes, sir.
Is that difficult? Because some kickers have said that's part of the notoriously tough part of it too.
When I've played there, I'm actually typically kind of pleased with it, like pleasantly surprised. But maybe that also could be a result of me playing there. I don't, off the top of my head, I don't remember, but at certain times of the year, and oftentimes fields get worse or better as the year goes on, and you hope you play certain teams after they've switched the new grass in, So maybe I've just been fortunate, but when I played there in the past, I felt the grass was pretty good. So, I guess I'll learn here soon.
You're coming to a team with pretty high expectations. Is that exciting that going chance to maybe kick in some big moments?
I think yes, because anytime when you're playing games that you're kicking field goals and you're down 20 or something, it's like it's almost harder to focus because you feel like might not make a difference. But when you're kicking in meaningful moments, it forces you to, I think oftentimes pressure almost helps focus in a number of different fields. But with kicking, I just feel like you have to lock in, and I want to win. I like winning. I don't like losing. So anytime I can be on a team with high hopes, high expectations, and with the ability to do it, I would like to be on those teams. So I'm glad to be here.